No, I went with the group that went to Orlando. There's a group of kids. Obviously, we let our players choose. Gosh, was it a Wednesday morning?
Yes,
Was it Wednesday morning? When we decided to break camp, we wanted everyone to have time to get with their family and make decisions what's best for them. Same thing with the coaches, the staff. I mean, we wanted our coaches to be with their families and help batten down the hatches and make decisions on what they wanted to do. So some kids did stay in South Florida. Some went all over the place, whether it was home or maybe their family went to see other family up north somewhere. And there was one or two. There was one that went to Puerto Rico. There was one that went to California. One or two went to California and Mississippi. And so they're all over the place. And then we also had a group that in the beginning, the dormitories were really a pretty good spot to be, because those buildings have been through hurricanes, and there was going to be generators, there's going to be power, and there's going to be food and water and all that. So the kids that lived on campus, that was one of the options. And then later on, when the university said, hey, we're all going to move out of there, that's when we said, we got to, for the kids that don't have a good place to be, we got to find a place to be. And that's where this trip to Orlando originally started. And then when that option became open, and I knew a lot of our players were going to be going, I didn't know how many would end up going to Orlando. That's where Catherine and I decided to come up with the rest of the team that wasn't with family. So that's where we went.
When did you come up then? Like Thursday?
Thursday night around 10 o'clock we started driving, and it was 10 hours. It took us 10 hours to get to Orlando that night. So we thought by going at night we'd have a smoother ride, but it was what you saw. Just, I mean, there was moments. I mean, I was in and out sleeping through the night, and it seemed like every time I woke up we were just sitting still, and people trying to. We didn't have a gas issue because those buses can probably go all the way to California on a tank, but everything had stopped. And what happened was, and you probably know this, but when you're trying to get gas, that right lane or whatever that's getting off into the exit lane, that thing may be backed up 3 miles. Mm-hmm. So that's part of what stops all the traffic, is everybody waiting in line to get off on the exit to go get gas, and then when they get there, a lot of times there's not even gas there. So we thought we were in a good spot, at least being in the bus.
What kind of stories have you heard from some of the players? Everybody's got a hurricane story right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that you could visually see, is, as you guys I'm sure have seen, is just the amount of trees, the massive amount of trees that went down, and the massive amount of power outage. And so if all you had was power outage, and so now your food supply is under duress, basically there's no refrigeration, and then if you're gonna try to go to a store, you can forget that. If you're gonna try to go somewhere to get a food, a restaurant, anything, so that was the biggest problem, is that when the power went out, or even to try to navigate the trees on the road to get to somewhere, it was just hard to get. Some of the guys, quite frankly, didn't have a whole lot to eat for a day or two.
Were you on the bus with them, Mark? I mean, were you on a bus with players?
Yes, players, staff, just anybody within our program, and there was other student athletes too. It wasn't just football.
Were there like about 30 football players?
That's about the number of football players, but I don't know how many other athletes there were. Maybe another 20, 30.
Yeah, there were about 35 student athletes.
Yeah.
Mark, there's no manual for how to handle something like this.
Right.
So what has the last 10, 12 days been like for you trying to deal with all this?
I mean, the first thing was just, our number one goal was safety of everybody, and that's why we made the decision early not to play the game. Could we have snuck out just in time to go play that game? We could have, logistically, but in the meantime, if you're a coach and you're going to put in 12-hour days and give the time that it takes to prepare for a game like that, and show the respect that you need to show to that game, then who's helping your wife get things done? And then the last thing I wanted, the thing that kind of was the deciding factor for me, is I didn't want to have a team in Memphis or Arkansas while all heck's breaking loose with everybody's family. And I didn't want my players to look at me like, Coach, why are we here? What are we doing here? Or even my staff go, what are we doing? And I was like, that's it. We're out. Let's break camp early. Let's let everybody make arrangements. So we gave them time prior to the storm. Obviously, they were there during the storm, and we gave them time after the storm. And I'm talking about staff. I'm talking about players. I'm talking about everybody involved with the program. And then when the dust had settled enough, we were trying to say to get back up and running. We were hoping to go back to campus, but obviously that wasn't going to happen, and we couldn't do that. So many hotels were really used up in the South Florida area. We might could have found some rooms here and rooms there and all that to possibly set up camp to start practicing like we're doing now. But it was so close there, all the distractions, even though they were worthy distractions. We're like, let's stay here. I mean, look at this place. We got a beautiful place to work out. Got a great place to house our players and feed our players, and because my goal when we got back started was get these kids rest. We set up a schedule because there's no class where I knew they were going to get at least 8 hours, 9 hours of sleep, and even a window of time in the afternoon if they want to take a nap. So they needed rest. They needed nutrition. So we're going to make sure we fed them good. And then we need to get back to be able to focus on what we're about to do. Because you really can't, it's dangerous to me to play football if your mind's somewhere else. And that's going back to, making that decision to begin with. If your mind's somewhere else and you're playing football, somebody's going to get hurt. And so now, the goal is to, this is not a bowl trip for us. This is like going away to camp prior to the season beginning. Because if you think about it, we had mat drills, we had spring ball, we had all the summer workouts, we had summer camp, we had fall camp, we had a game 1, and you're building up to getting your team in condition mentally and physically to play football and to do it at a high level. And so all those things were happening, and then all of a sudden you spend I don't know how many days just away. Nobody running, no one lifting, no one eating right. I say no one. Some guys not even be able to eat right. So now we got to start up all over again. And the key is, can we get in the same? There's a difference between running conditioning, and playing football conditioning. And part of it, you got to get your mind used to contact again. Contact is, not necessarily a natural thing. And so we got to get used to tackling again, blocking again. We got to get used to just being in the kind of condition that you need to play in the heat and humidity that we're going to play in. So that's kind of where we're at.
So what was it like yesterday for them just to get out here again, to get a workout under them, to be with you guys?
It was good. It was very good. We went a shortened fundamental practice. About half the time we would normally be on the field for a true fundamental practice. And then afterwards we ran. And they ran better than I thought they would. Matter of fact, the night everybody got here, which was today's Sunday? Friday night. Was it Friday night?
Yes.
We came here. Friday night when everybody finally got in, had a nice meal, had a team meeting. We just got on buses and came here and ran them. Didn't run them super hard. We just ran to get the blood flowing and to be together and to do something as a unit. And so we did run that night. We practiced yesterday morning for about an hour and ran afterwards. We're going to practice today a little bit longer and still condition afterwards. I'm going to keep them off their feet tomorrow, on Monday. That's tomorrow. We'll keep them off their feet, but they'll all get a good lift in. We'll still meet and look at our opponent. And then hopefully Tuesday can be a normal Tuesday, Wednesday a normal Wednesday, Thursday a normal Thursday, Friday, a normal Friday. So I just hope we're in good enough condition to practice full speed the way we normally practice by Tuesday.
Well, what did you guys do in the hotel while you were anticipating the storm and then right after the storm?
Yeah, just mostly eating, watching the Weather Channel like everybody else in America. That's what we're doing.
How tough was it knowing some of you were up here, not knowing what the guys back home were dealing with?
Well, we had a system. When we had our first meeting to let everybody go, every position coach was responsible to know. We went to segment meetings, so every player had to say, "This is my plan. This is my plan. This is where I'm going to be. This is when I'm going to be there." And then they had to check in once they got to wherever they were going. So each position coach knew exactly where every guy was. And it wasn't like, hey, this is where I'm going to go. It was like, no, when you get there, you tell me you're there and you're safe. And so we were nonstop monitoring, and they were giving all that information to Don Corzine, our director of football, who has done an awesome job, and you know, everybody else as well. Our administration's been great. You know, even coming here, you know, they have been so gracious to let us use this place. Even you know, there's no price gouging. You know, at the hotel we're staying at, they understand the situation. They're being super helpful. There's so many people that have just said, we see the problem, we want to help. It's been pretty awesome.
Couple more guys. At this point in the season, you'd probably have a decent handle on your team and what they could do. Where is that knowledge at this point?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I don't know. I don't know how long we can go hard. I know we'll go hard. You know, but how long can we go hard? And you know, I didn't even mention before that no matter how you train, when you play the kind of weather we play in, you know, part of the being in condition to play a game is the substitution factor, the rolling of your personnel. You know, if you have just 3 receivers and to play the whole game, that would be, you just couldn't do it, especially in a no huddle system. So we're gonna, you know, we got to sub. We got to sub at really positions across the board. You can't ask 4 D linemen to play a whole game. They won't have anything left at the end. So, you know, hopefully as we're getting them back in shape, running shape, football shape, hopefully we'll be in as good a shape as we were in before. But you can run, and then your legs are dead. So you got to be careful. That's why, you know, tomorrow they're going to do nothing as far as running is concerned. So I'm just trying to find the right. We're just watching them as we condition. Are they better than we? Like, I'll be honest with you. Yesterday when we ran, we looked better than I thought we'd run after practice. I wasn't surprised that we had energy to practice and, you know, get out there and work again. We didn't go a super long practice. I thought the timing of that was good, but then when we just said, all right, where we're going to run, how that was going to go, I thought we ran better than I thought we'd run. So that was a good sign. But is it really where we were or where we should be? I don't know. We'll find out.
Mark, have you even had a chance to see Toledo? I know they scored a lot of points.
Oh yeah, yeah. We watched it together as a team. We streamed it in the team room, and it was actually our dining area. We had some snacks, so we weren't just like everybody had to sit in a chair and watch, but everybody was watching the game as they were grabbing some snacks. And we watched a good bit. We watched a good bit of the first half together. We didn't make them stay for 3 hours or whatever. But then we, you know, we'll be able to see the film.
Any impression? I know it's different when you're just watching a game, but any impressions?
Well, you know, we've already seen 2 games this season of them, and a lot of tape from the past. But I mean, obviously, offensively, they're very, very good at what they do, and they can put a lot of points on the board. And you know, defensively, they were, you know, like this last game, and Tulsa's one of the better offensive teams in America. And when you start shooting out and you start going a lot of snaps, I mean, there's 96 snaps, I think. I mean, not many defenses can play effectively for 96 snaps. It's hard to do. But you know, they're a very dangerous team, and they got our respect for a lot of reasons.
Thanks, everybody. Any update on you know, I don't know if you got any reports on Amon or anybody like that, but you know, guys that are coming back from nagging injuries.
Yeah, there's no. I'd say he's not. I mean, I didn't think he was going to play like last game or even the one in Arkansas State. He probably wouldn't have played. He's got a lot better chance of playing this one. It'll be interesting to see what he looks like Tuesday. He's getting some work, but he's not been in a competitive drill yet.
Thanks,
Mark. Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate it.